So welcome to the Interior Boost Collaborative Learning Session 1. Thank you everyone for joining today. My name is Angie Semple, and if you may know me already, I have been involved with Boost for several years now since it started in Vancouver. I am a project coordinator with the BC-CfE QI team, and I'm joined today by our project team, Hanky DeCock, the Boost Interior Medical Lead, Amanda Perry, Practice Lead with Interior Health, Cole Stanley, the Medical and QI Consultant for Boost, and Kelsey Kavanaugh, the Improvement Consultant with Interior Health and the QI Coach, excuse me, to the Interior Boost teams. I'd also like to introduce Alicia Simon, who's helping to support with us today and helping to support the Interior Boost Collaborative. I did want to take a minute to note that this session will be recorded for educational purposes. If there's any concerns with that, you can message Alicia Simon, who you'll find in the participant list. Please type your name and location in the chat as well if you're joining with any team members from the same computer today. That would be helpful for us to get a sense of who's on the line. We also would encourage you to have your cameras on if possible throughout the day, as it's nice to see some friendly faces, and also to keep your audio muted unless you would like to make a comment or to ask a question. Sorry, there we go. We would like to begin by acknowledging that the land on which we gather is the traditional, ancestral, unceded, and occupied homelands of the Coast Salish peoples, including the seven Interior Region First Nations, where we live, learn, collaborate, and work together. This region is also home to 15 chartered Métis communities. It is with humility that we continue to strengthen our relationships with First Nation, Métis, and Inuit peoples across the interior. We also want to acknowledge that others may be joining from different traditional homelands today. This acknowledgement is a reminder of the discriminatory, racist, and colonial practices that have had a lasting legacy and continue to create barriers for Indigenous people in the healthcare system. I did want to note that Boost Interior Health is funded by Health Canada's SUAP program and the Shared Care Committee. And this is just a thank you to all our funders and partners, including our client partners and family voices. I'm sure many of you are quite familiar with Zoom now after the past few years, but this is just a reminder that you can use the chat function to type in the chat. Alternatively, you can use the raise hand function to notify us that you'd like to unmute yourself and make a comment or a question. I don't think I mentioned yet, but we will have a couple polls throughout the day. This is just to get some feedback on the session and just to note that they are anonymous. You should probably see one on your screen right now. These are our learning objectives for the day. I will read them briefly. So by the end of the session, participants will be able to understand the overall goals of the collaborative, specifically the expectations for testing of change ideas and collecting and reporting on core collaborative measures, reviewing and refining draft aim statements and developing clear steps forward with actionable plans for tests of change for action period 2, describing key elements of plan, do, study, act cycles and essential features of effective tests of change, identifying improvement opportunities for each participating team to improve OUD care and services, and using other Boost collaborative teams as a resource to begin to collaborate. That sounds probably quite wordy, but really it's also just an opportunity to bring teams together with one another and to provide updates on the Boost work that's happening at each site, and then also to start to look at plans for QI work in the next phase of the collaborative. This is our meeting agenda for today. It was circulated beforehand, or a draft version of it. As you can see, we will have a couple of breaks during the day and lunch at noon. We do want to recognize that it's quite a long day over Zoom. Unfortunately, we're not able to meet in person for these sessions. That being said, we've tried to structure the day to have a couple interactive and engaging pieces, but we also want to note that, feel free to turn your camera off for a stretch break at any point during the day or between presentations if you need to do that. Next up, I would like to introduce Elder Elaine Kruger. She is an elder from the Syilx Nation. Although Elder Elaine is currently retired and she has an extensive background as a substance use counselor. We're very happy to have her here today to provide opening blessings. Alder Elaine, I will pass it over to you if you're ready. Oh, I'm not sure.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, we
Okay,
can.
can you see me?
Yes.
Oh,
Thanks so much for joining us here today.
thank you. My name is Elaine Kruger, and I've been living in the Penticton Indian Band for the last about 40 years. And I've been picking up a lot of their ways. So I just would like to respectfully acknowledge my workspace is situated within the Syilx Okanagan territory and on the ancestral and traditional and unceded territory of the Syilx Nation. And I'd like to just open this day to welcome everybody with a little prayer and a little blessing for everyone. And I just ask that everybody that's in their own territories, I understand this is like a BC thing, right, Angie?
Yes, the Interior Health Region.
Okay, just like to note that just saying prayers for the overall First Nations in the interior nation here. And Creator, I'd just like to ask your support for a holistic approach to the health and social development, which will promote self-sufficient First Nation communities by integrating our traditional and cultural approaches to community wellness. For First Nation wellness is holistic and interconnected and needs the guidance of all committees involved in order to work towards and support the safety, health, and well-being of our children, family, and community, and our land. Creator, I'd like to ask you to also pray for the ones that would like to be here today but couldn't make it. I'd mostly like to pray for the ones that are still out there using, and that they will be touched or blessed by someone's kindness today or someone's prayers that will go towards them. For we are always struggling in the field of addictions, and that we as a nation need to collaborate our different programs and committees to be out there to help. And I pray, Creator, that the ones that will see a glimmer of hope, that they will hang on to the ones that are out there wanting to help pick them up, that they will hang on for dear life so that they can have offer their communities, once they get well, that glimmer of hope that can be passed down to others in our communities. I pray, Creator, for the residential school survivors and the day school survivors as well, because in a lot of our hurts and pains, Creator, have come from institutions such as those, that we are still picking up the pieces, and some people have made it through the journeys of wellness to be where they're at today. And I pray, Creator, that the ones that are still struggling, that you will help them come to the awareness that there is hope out there. Creator, I pray for the little ones that are our future generations, that they will be able to continue our work in this area. We know that we need workers in this area with all the sometimes chaos that goes on in our lives for from day to day. And I pray, Creator, for the blessings that you have bestowed upon us for our health and our safety and our well-being. And I pray, Creator, that that there will always be kindness in our hearts to help us move forward in our journey. White Lim Lim, hi hi. I'd just like to say a few words. I've worked with the Penticton Indian Band for about 14 years in the alcohol and drug capacity in our communities, and I have worked with different regions in our BC region, interior, coastal, and have picked up a lot of tools from the different communities and committees that have put workshops together and come home, and always been able to deliver something positive to our people when I come home. And I've recently retired, as Angie had mentioned. May 20th was my last day at work, and I have still work in little communities out there, delivering cultural and traditional awareness to communities that want to go that way, to do the holistic approach to our communities. And it's so awesome because you can see the difference in their accomplishments. Like, they probably thought they'd never be able to do some of the things that I've shown them, and finished and accomplished work that we went out on the land to do. I'm just going to grab something and show you what we've done. Oh, and I'm just recently out of surgery, so just hang in there. Sorry guys, I had hip surgery a couple of weeks ago, and I'm still getting around. Okay, a lot better than the first few days. But we've done baskets like this in different communities. I've done it with them, and people that have that completed their baskets, they're so proud of them and right to the finished product, so they can go out and pick their berries and bring it back to the communities. So that's just one of the little projects that I do with them out there. And yeah, I have lots of stories about different things that I do accomplish out there with people using the out on the land approach. And since I've retired, I've been out there from May till my surgery. I've been out there just about all summer, just collecting the raw materials, and just working my way towards that. And so when my hip surgery gets a little bit better, I'll be out there again showing people different things in that area. So I know it works because we've done community programs like that, where I brought a bunch of people out there. They did right from scratch from the land, gathered the materials, and came back and made their basket or whatever they were doing for that project. And at the end of the whole project, we have a big community gathering where we invite the whole community population, and they show their products that they have finished, and we pick the berries in the baskets, and we have a big feast right at the end of our project. And a lot of people that were interested. Of course, there's only limited funding, and you know, can only bring so many people. So with that too, you know, we need to always be aware that we need the outside communities like the government and stuff like that to help with some of the projects that are being done out there. So also pray for that, that the funds will come our way to continue this good work that local community members, they know and can bring that to the people. Okay, I just thank you for allowing me to come and join you today. Of course, being recovering from my surgery, I can't be sitting up for too long, like 30 minutes at a time. So if I'm kicking back on my bed with this Zoom link, I'll pop in now and then if that's okay with you. Is that okay, Angie?
Yes, of course.
Okay, so I'll end it here, and I just thank everybody for being here today, and have a good day.